Good afternoon, Tacoma. Welcome to Tacoma's No Kings Rally. I'm Andre Jimenez, and I'm going to be emceeing today's rally, but just for a second, I want you to take a second and to look around you. And I want you to really look around you. What you're seeing right now is part of one of the largest protest movements in our country's history. People all across this nation are standing up, showing up, and saying clearly that we don't do kings here. And now Tacoma is part of that story. But before we begin, I want to ground us in how we are going to show up together today. To keep everyone safe, we ask that you follow these few simple principles. First, no weapons are allowed at this event. Do not engage with counter-protesters. We ask that you practice strong nonviolence, and we'll do this by refraining from any violence, both physical, verbal, and we're not going to have any property destruction here today. If you notice a disturbance, please step away and find someone in an orange vest. The people in orange vests are our safety teams who are volunteering to help keep us safe. And if you're asked by somebody in an orange vest to disperse, please do so by walking away calmly and slowly. And let's take care of this space and this ground together. Because what we're building here today, it only works if we take care of each other. Now, as many of you know, I was born and raised here in Tacoma, and I was speaking recently at the Black Male Academic Achievement Conference right here at the Convention Center. And I was talking to the young men there about power, how we fight for it, and how we build it. And a young man who was in college, he raised his hand and he said, "But what do I do when I feel like I'm just a small ant and like I have no power to change these systems?" And I could see it in his eyes, that feeling. And it stopped me because I'd felt that before. I, too, remember the first time that I felt powerless. My grandmother and I were walking into the Pierce County Jail. We went through security, got on the elevator, walked down the hallway, and we saw one side lined with visiting rooms and the other side lined with windows. And then one of those visiting rooms doors opened, we sat down, and I saw my mom on the other side of that thick piece of glass. And I picked up the small black phone that was on the wall, and she could barely say my name before we both broke down in tears. And I remember slumping into that plastic chair, feeling like there was nothing I could do. I had no control, no power. I was just stuck. Years later, I was working at Sound Outreach here in the Hilltop, where we offered free financial counseling to people in need, people facing eviction, people contemplating bankruptcy, people who were trying to rebuild their lives from time in incarceration. And every day, people would walk in that had that same look in their eyes. They were broken, and they felt like they had no power to change their circumstances. They had the same look that I saw in my mom's eyes, and they had the same look in the young man's eyes that I spoke to last week. And even if I didn't have the language for it back then, I knew this, that there were people in positions of power making decisions about our lives without us. And if I'm being honest, I feel that same pressure today. And I know that you do too. Because my story is mine, but that feeling is something that we all share. We've all felt it, especially over the last year and a half. And let's be clear that that's not by accident, it's by design. You might have felt it. You might have felt powerless when you had to choose between paying for healthcare and paying for rent. You might have felt it when basic supports were cut to give tax breaks to the wealthy. You might have felt it when you're trying to protect undocumented friends, family, and loved ones from systems that are telling them that they don't belong. You might have felt it watching videos over and over again as American citizens were killed by the government that should be protecting them. You might have felt it worrying about your kids' future, about war, about the climate, and about whether they'll have the lives that you dreamed that they would have. And you might have felt it at the grocery store, at the gas pump, in your classroom, at your job, that quiet question of, do I actually have any power? But here's the truth. Those feelings that we feel are real, but that's not the end of the story, because every single time that people have been told that they are powerless, every time, we have proven them wrong. You proved it here today by showing up. You took time out of your day, out of your life to stand here with community and say, no kings. And that is power. This right here, what you see, is what power looks like. And this is what happens when people refuse to be small. So now we move to the question in front of us. What do we do with it? Because this space that we're in right now, this is more than a rally. This is where we build something. This is where we learn from each other. This is where we connect our stories to something much bigger than ourselves. This is where we remember that power doesn't come from one person, one office, or one so-called king. True power comes from us, from community, from showing up, from choosing over and over again to believe that we shape what happens next. And today you're going to hear from speakers who have felt that same pressure, that same frustration, but who chose to organize, to speak out, and to build something different. People who didn't wait for permission, people who didn't wait for someone else to fix it, people who found power, not in a king, but in each other. So with that, let's get this rally started. And to kick us off, I'm going to welcome Patricia Gonzalez to the stage. Patricia is a member of the Puyallup tribe and is going to offer an opening welcome and blessing grounded in tradition, community, and respect for our shared land.
My name is Patricia Gonzalez Montañez. I am a member of the Puyallup tribe. I am also a descendant of a Mexican immigrant. I have come here today to represent this land, to represent the community that comes from this land. And driving here today, I've been thinking about what would be the best words to share, because I've done many of these, and I've been traveling for a long time to speak about a lot of the movements that are joined here today, because I see many different ones. I see many different familiar faces and groups. So I've shared a lot of teachings with all of you, and some of you, this is our first interaction. But one of the things that I wanted to pray for today, that I think is so important across the board, is the bridges that we build. Being Indigenous and welcoming you to our land, it's a great honor for both sides, because you help us. When we welcome you here, we also share the responsibilities with you. When we welcome you here, we ask our ancestors to umbrella you with the same protection that our people have, that our ancestors fought for, that they died for, that they passed down when it was illegal to do so. When we welcome you here, we do it with open arms. We do it in a generous way. And we do it with the expectation that you are going to follow our rules and help us with our responsibilities to the bridges that we promised to this land. So today I want to pray for the bridges, and I want to invite you all to join on those bridges with all of the Indigenous people if you have not already. And if you have, share that knowledge with somebody, because we're taught that we are just vessels for these teachings. So when you get a new teaching, it's your job, it's your responsibility from this gathering to take it home. So I want to pray to Creator that everyone here gets a new teaching today. And if you can't find a new teaching, build a new bridge. There are so many movements here today. There's no excuses. We have been fighting for decades, for generations, and I don't get the luxury of a break. And I know that you guys are all tired. I know we're all tired. But it's by any means necessary. We need to heal together. And so again, I want to pray for these relationships and these bridges that we have with the tree nations, with the salmon nations, with the water, with the air, with the fire, with those stones, those grandfathers. And I want to pray that we can all get back to those basic teachings, that we can all slow down when we get that time to remember what we are here for. Remember what feeds us first. These trees, this air, the water, the salmon, the animals, they feed us first. So feed them first. Build those bridges, because they have been giving and giving and giving, and we've been taking and taking and taking. And we need those in our ceremonies. We need those to connect. We need those to pray hard. And so I want to pray as hard as I can today with all of you, and I hope that you have a similar prayer, that we can rebuild these bridges that are falling. That we don't let this work happen in vain. I want to pray that everybody here feels the blood of our ancestors, feels these connections, feels the trees, feels that energetic interaction, and you respond to it. Take that time to be mindful. And I want to talk lastly about the responsibilities that we are asking you to help us with. We have a rule: when you gather, when you collect, when you do anything, you always leave that place better than you found it. So today, that's what I want to ask your help with. Please help us leave this land better than we found it. Thank you. Oh, to all my relations.
So now we're going to break up this rally into 3 sections. We're going to have a federal section, a state section, and a local section. Because while the wannabe king is working in Washington, D.C., the things that he's doing has effects at every single level of government. And so we're first going to start with the federal section, and this is where we're going to connect the dots between what's happening in Washington, D.C. and what's happening here on immigration, on war, on climate, and on our fundamental rights. And at a time when power is being centralized and voices are being ignored, these speakers are going to remind us of what it looks like to organize, to resist, and to hold systems accountable. So please welcome Athrettis Brown, also known as Threat, to the stage. Threat is a community gang prevention advocate fighting to empower youth through entrepreneurship. And please welcome him to the stage. Thank you.
First, I want to say give yourselves a round of applause for being here. That's very, very important. And I come to the understanding that we're going to hear a lot of information that's going to be extremely beneficial for everybody that's participating. And I'm clear to understand that regardless on what perspective in life that you're choosing to support this from, everybody's going to be able to benefit as long as we can understand one primary thing. The collective is the most important thing that we can do right now. You know, because I see times that people would select a presidential select and then become in disagreement with what they're saying as well. So now when we look into society, it's important for us to say we the people is the most important thing right now. When we talk about financial scarcity, that's one of the biggest things that we're experiencing right now. The impact that we have on the cost of things, the financial interests, the tariffs, you know, these things are crucial, but one of the most important things that I'm starting to realize in real time is that American people are some of the most powerful people on the face of the planet. Within my studies, I realized that we hold at least 4% of the world's population, but we are at least 30% of the world's population when it comes to moving this system around. We are the biggest consumers in the world, and one of the things that hinder us the most is that we like to spend most of our time supporting outside of our own communities better than supporting within our communities. So until we can start holding ourselves like extremely accountable for the things that we want as a people, there's no such thing as one king that can operate the concepts of what our interest is. Everybody becomes extremely dissatisfied by their selections almost all the time, but we can't keep giving up on each other as the people. I don't choose red and I don't choose blue, because when I step to the red, the right of me, I seem to be stepping in the blood of my own people and my community. When I step to the left, and I seem to be soaked with the tears of my people. I'm choosing to combine both of those elements and find like the Purple Heart aspect of everything, because us as people is the most important part. And as I close and end this, I want to be clear that the thing that I truly understand the most is that the power of this country does not sit in the office. The power of this country sits in the house of each individual that stands out here today. And that's my spiel. Andre?
And now we have a special guest for you guys. We have our Congresswoman from Washington's 6th Congressional District, Congresswoman Emily Randle, who is quite literally taking the fight from Washington to Washington. So please welcome Congresswoman Randle to the stage.
Thank you for being here today. I literally landed at 11 a.m. and came here after unexpectedly being held over in Washington, D.C., fighting against a continued investment in the lawless Homeland Security Department. I grew up in Kitsap County. I've been in politics since I was elected to the state legislature in 18, but I didn't run for office imagining that this is the work that we would be doing, that we would be literally fighting every day for our democracy and against fascism and against our neighbors being shot in the streets. I ran for office, I got involved in politics because I wanted people to have access to healthcare in their communities, because I wanted us to be able to afford to live, to have roofs over our heads and support our families, because I wanted a community that empowered young people to follow their dreams and have the support that they needed to access education. Those very basic, fundamental building blocks of building a civil society are so important and are taking up so little of my time right now, because we are holding up the wall against the end of our democracy as we know it. But we're not doing it alone in Washington, D.C. We are doing it alongside each and every one of you in our communities across the country. I don't think ever in the history of a government overreach has the government saved the people from the government. It is you, the people, that are going to save all of us and to ensure that we have a better future tomorrow and next year and for decades to come. There is so much that can be demoralizing about what we are facing, about what we are seeing on our phones of neighbors and fellow Americans like Renee Good and Alex Preddy being gunned down in the streets. As a member of the Oversight Committee, I was in an immigration hearing with the Senate, hearing from children, American children of mixed status families who were assaulted by ICE agents in their communities, in McDonald's parking lots, on the way to doctor's appointments. It is easy to be demoralized. It is easy to feel like the fight is too hard and the work is too much. But today you showed up again. You showed up today, and you are going to show up tomorrow, and you're going to show up the next day. You're going to keep showing up all the way through the midterms in November, and then you are going to keep holding your government accountable. We are going to fight tooth and nail to ensure that we protect our elections this year, because if we don't protect them this year, we may never be able to protect them again. This is the year when we leave it all on the table. I could not be prouder to represent this community, to be working alongside you, to be learning from you, to be serving with you, and to be ensuring that tomorrow, that the next day, that for our grandchildren's grandchildren, our communities are stronger and safer and healthier and freer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative Randle. Next up on stage, we're going to have Wendy Pantoja, who is an advocate on immigration issues for detainees incarcerated at the Tacoma Detention Center and a community organizer for the nonprofit Northwest Detention Center Resistance.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Wendy Pantoja. I'm a part of Pierce County Immigration Alliance. Am I glad people from representatives are here because here is Tacoma Detention Center. I want to say one thing for them, to remember them. Shut down Tacoma Detention Center! Shut down Tacoma Detention Center! Shut down Tacoma Detention Center! Out! And we will do this speech in bilingual for the people who speak other language, Spanish and English. Mi nombre es Wendy Pantoja, somos miembros de la Alianza de Inmigración del Condado de Pierce. Nuestra misión es organizar por los derechos de las inmigrantes y construir poder colectivo en el Condado de Pierce y más allá.
Hello, my name is Tanya, and I'm a member of Pierce County Alliance, and we are trying to build collective power so we could fight ICE and we get ICE out of Tacoma.
Aquí en el condado de Pierce, sabemos que a pesar de los discursos de Trump, ICE no está yendo tras los llamados criminales de verdad. Nosotros tuvimos hace unos meses a verdaderos criminales que asesinaron a un niño sobre la McKinley, un niño de 14 años, y esta persona está libre en este momento.
Here in Pierce County, we know that they're not only going after criminals, they're going after our neighbors, our friends, our family, co-workers. The real criminals are in the White House.
En este último año, decenas de miembros de la comunidad han sido asesinados a manos de ICE y el Departamento de Homeland Security.
In the last year, lots of people from our community have been killed from ICE.
Únanse a nosotros para exigir justicia para René Gott, Keith Porter, Alex Pretty, Rubén Ray Martínez, Nurul Amit Shanham, Alberto Gutiérrez Reyes, Dalfi Michel, Luis Gustavo Núñez, Gerardo Luna Campus, Víctor Manuel Díaz, Parodi La, Luis Beltrán, Elber Sánchez Domínguez y muchas personas más. La alianza ha exigido que Tacoma se una a su llamado de ICE Out y que adopte nuestra resolución, porque hemos estado trabajando muy fuerte con una resolución impulsada por la comunidad que exige acción.
Pierce County Alliance is asking the community to please join us. We are trying to fight ICE. We're coming into counseling when they are speaking. We are trying to get them to kick ICE out of Tacoma. So we need the community to please join us. We need everybody together.
Estas demandas incluyen hacer todo lo posible para cerrar el centro de detención del noroeste, que debió realmente cerrar en 2025, pero sabemos que hay pequeños subcontratos y estamos muy sospechosos. Queremos saber de esos contratos y qué es lo que está pasando, porque ese centro de detención sigue operando en Tacoma cuando no debería de ser.
This detention center was supposed to be closed years ago, but we know that they still open, they still operating, they still abusing immigrants and exploiting them. We need to figure out what's going on. We need to find out the truth so we could shut them down.
Nos han dicho que el Consejo Municipal no puede hacer nada, pero aún están tratando de silenciarnos, eliminando el foro comunitario en las reuniones del Consejo. Nos pueden decir que están con el pueblo mientras nos silencian. No nos pueden decir que están con nuestra gente mientras nos están tratando de silenciar y no permitir que nosotros hablemos en nuestros foros públicos, que es nuestro derecho.
The council keep telling us that they stand with the people of Tacoma, but they don't. What they're trying to do, they're trying to take community forum away so we could not speak out. This is our right. They are elected leaders that we elected. We elected them to hear us. They're supposed to work for us. So we need to find out what's really going on.
Necesitamos que usted se una a nosotros. Organícense, únase a Pierce County Immigration Alliance o a una de las muchas organizaciones increíbles que están aquí hoy. Preséntense, alce la voz y exija que ICE se vaya.
We are asking every one of you guys to please join us. And if you don't join Pierce County Immigration Alliance, there is many other groups in here, many activists that you guys could join. We just need your help. We're asking you to join us on the fight so we could kick ICE out of Tacoma.
Les estamos pidiendo que por favor nos acompañen mañana domingo 29 de marzo a las 2 de la tarde en el Salón de Teamsters para nuestro foro comunitario Labor Against ICE. Estamos convocando a más sindicatos a sumarse a esta lucha porque la lucha por los derechos laborales y los derechos de las personas migrantes es la misma. Cuando luchamos juntos, ganamos.
When we fight together, we win. No one is illegal on stolen land. Power to the people.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. El pueblo unido divided will be never divided. The people united will never be divided. Thank you.
Alrighty, next we have Kaelin, who is with the Malala movement, which is a member organization of the Tango Migrante movement and Defend Migrants Alliance, orgs that are committed to defending and supporting migrant Filipinos and holding the U.S. and Philippine governments accountable for their neglect and violence against migrants. Please welcome them to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here on behalf of the Malaya movement, which is an anti-fascist grassroots Filipino organization that is fighting for human rights, democracy, and sovereignty in the Philippines. We're also part of the overall Tango Migrante, or Defend Migrants movement, which was officially formed last year in response to Trump's fascist attacks on migrant Filipinos here in the States. I'm joined today by other members of our organization, and we are proud to be here with you all to protest Trump's authoritarian regime. I believe that movements and rallies like the ones here today are vital to creating a better society. Our youth are our future, and it's so incredibly moving to see so many people here in support of the movement. For those of you who may not already know, the Philippines has had a long history of resisting colonial imperialism, pushing back and ousting 300 long years of Spanish imperialism with the Revolution of 1896. However, our people were sold out to U.S. imperialists and fed lies about how the U.S. government and its military were there to save and protect our people, when they were only there to further exploit us and for their own gain. From then on, there have been a series of puppet dictators leading the Philippines, all acting as lapdogs to the U.S. government. However, our people were successful yet again in ousting one of those dictators with the People Power Mass Movement in 1986. We ousted Marcos Sr. from the government. However, he was only replaced by yet another dictator, Duterte, who committed even more crimes against humanity with his brutal war on drugs, which has been continued by our current dictator, Bongbong Marcos Jr. Marcos Jr. and Sara Duterte are the #1 enemies of the Filipino people, as they continue to collude with the Trump regime to exploit the Philippines and line their own pockets. They've allowed for corporate land grabbing so that multinational corporations can exploit the land and resources that belong to our people. They've continued to perpetrate a corrupt system that forces poor working class Filipinos to go overseas in search of work just to be able to provide for their families. The livable wage in the Philippines is about 1,200 pesos, yet the average Filipino worker back home only makes about 428 pesos a day. Those overseas workers are supposed to be supported by the embassies and consulates in the countries that they're working in. And yet those consulates do nothing to protect our people when they need it most. Do you know what Marcos said in response to Filipinos in the Middle East who have been caught in this senseless conflict that Trump and Netanyahu have created? He told them to take cover and bear with it. He's also helped to fund ghost consulates, such as the one that's been supposed to be here in Washington 3 months ago. And yet they haven't made any progress on it because they're still settling in. Filipinos, both back home and overseas, stand in solidarity with Iran, as their sovereignty is also under attack by the Trump regime. We demand that the United States get out of other nations and leave our people alone. No boots on the ground, no bombs in the air, U.S. out of everywhere! I'll leave you here with our calls to action. Join an organization. For Filipinos, we have Malaya, Tacoma, and Tango Migrante. And for non-Filipinos, there's the Defend Migrants Alliance and the Philippines-U.S. Solidarity Organization. Sign our petition to help us get other Magalante and other corrupt officials banned from holding official government positions. And lastly, join us next month as we protest the Balakitan or the joint AFP-U.S. military exercises.
Alrighty, next to the stage we have Eric Ard, who is a veteran of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars and has been an anti-war and climate activist for over a decade, participating in Shell No, Stop Kinder Morgan, and Free the Snake, among others. He's also the co-chair of South Sound About Face, Veterans Against the War.
Thank you. You all may know about South Sound's About Face's work over the last year as part of the Defend Migrants Alliance, supporting veterans detained inside the Northwest Detention Center. That has been a lot of hard work, but today I want to pivot a little bit. I have a statement from one of our members, a third-generation active duty veteran who has left a statement for today for No Kings. Hello, I am a senior non-commissioned officer currently serving the U.S. Army. I apologize because I cannot physically be with you today, but I stand with you in spirit. I want to express my own concerns for the current Iran conflict. Our administration has dragged the American people into a nonsense war that will kill many. The general civilian population believes that they will not be directly impacted. However, I will state that this is not the case. You will be affected. Generational trauma is being created with irreversible impact on our young people. Generation Z has not lived in a country that has never been at war. Think about that. A whole generation has never experienced peace in our country. This organization is committing genocide. Our administration has now increased the age requirements and relaxed enlistment requirements to join the military. This is a harbinger for what is to come. It is important for the community to witness what fascism is and to use your constitutional right to protest. Service members, civil rights leaders, and everyday people are being censored, threatened, and intimidated not to speak the truth. Many lifelong career service members are leaving due to the unethical behaviors of this government. We don't want to fight a billionaire's land grab. History repeats itself. My great-grandfather served during World War II. He was bombed at Pearl Harbor. Our president knew about the threats but did nothing. My father jumped into the jungles of Panama. Our president knew the lies but did nothing. I am now witnessing the travesty of innocent children being bombed. Our president will do nothing. Please know that there are people in the military that love you, but right now, we, the American people, need to join in the fight for democracy. I will end with a quote from the late, great Justin Dart Jr., father of the American Disability Act. I call for solidarity among those who love justice, all who love life, to create a revolution that will empower every single human being to govern his or her life. Yeah, can I get a hell yeah? Yeah, a revolution indeed. Because right now we're living in someone else's revolution and we have to make it ours. We have to take it. A real challenge to this coup will require not only protests, but sophisticated structures that can make strategic decisions and build power, like LA and like Minneapolis, like we're going to start doing here in Tacoma. Together, we will build a new future on the other side of this. A new vision of a radically democratic society. We cannot strive to go back to the way things were, and we cannot have the same vision for the future as we held before Trump. That path leads right back to where we are now. Bushin said, "You must do the impossible or face the unthinkable." Well, right now, we stand at the precipice of the unthinkable. However, we have the unique opportunity and distinct responsibility to create a vision and the means to execute it. Let us be laser focused in our effort and build meaningfully. Go out, march, but fix your course and gaze over the hard terrain toward the horizon of freedom, and you will never walk alone. Thank you.
Alrighty, next we have a guest who needs no introduction. Next is Dr. Ramona Bennett Bill, who is a longtime and prominent leader from the Puyallup tribe, a pioneering activist, and most recently, the author of Fighting for the Puyallup Tribe. Please welcome Dr. Bennett Bill to the stage.
We all wondered how Hitler happened. Did we wonder how Hitler happened? It just seems impossible, and yet here we are. Now, Hitler had a hero, a guy named Andrew Jackson that was president, and he wanted to be rid of all these Indians that were in the eastern United States. And so he figured out that if they were told that they were going to this wonderful place that was going to be theirs forever, they would gather all their treasures. They would gather their children, they would gather their elders, and they would carry them to this wonderful new place. And so they planned it in the dead of winter. 12,000 Indians started walking to this wonderful new place called Oklahoma. And on the way, 4,000 of them died. But the white people were rid of those Indians. The Indians were gone. And so when Hitler came into power, he was wondering, how can I get rid of all these people? And then he studied what Andrew Jackson had done. And they told all of the Jews, all of the Gypsies, all of the people they wanted to be rid of, that they were going to this wonderful new place. And sure enough, they gathered all their valuables, they gathered all of their children, they gathered all of their elderly people, and they walked to the trains. They all walked to the trains that were going to take them to Auschwitz, Birkenau, Dachau. They were going to be rid of them. This was the perfect solution. They took themselves to the gas chambers, and they had taken all of their valuables. And once they got to the concentration camps, the death camps, they had everything of value with them, and so it was easy to gather. Now, the first thing that Trump did when he was reelected, he had a look at the Oval Office, and the thing that was missing was the picture of Andrew Jackson. Do any of you remember that? The picture of Andrew Jackson, and he put it up in his beautiful new office, where he was going to represent us until he could get rid of us. And we are looking at that now. It's getting closer. And what they do is divide us up. You know, you all saw those 19 Indians from South America or Central America with their shaved heads, all hemped up, all chained up, all being flown to God knows where. And we get used to it. We get used to seeing bad people. They're all murderers, they're all rapists, they're all robbers. We've gotten used to it. We're desensitized. We're trained. And, you know, I see the cattle cars all ready to go. I see a government all ready to load us up. And the way they'll do it is the way it happened in Europe. They'll take one bunch of people, and since it isn't us, we just look the other way. We don't notice. And then they'll take another bunch of people, and whoever is left will just look the other way. And so that's how they're able to succeed, by dividing us up and having us look the other way because it isn't us. And so what we have to do is unite, really unite. You know, the people united, the people united, no, the people united will never be defeated. 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 And how will we be? We'll be united. We're never going to let them divide us up. We've got to know our neighbors. We've got to be part of coalitions. We have to really lock arms and hold on to each other and be ready to fight back, because it's really going to come to that. I'm ready. You need to be ready. We all need to be ready. We are united. We'll never be defeated. We are united. We'll never be defeated. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ramona, for those words. We now have a performance for you guys. Please welcome Roxy Brisette to the stage for an ASL interpretation of Do Something Already.
Sirens in the night, people asking why we stand here together. We won't pass it by. Hey, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Say it loud, say it proud. Hey, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hands held up high, tears in our eyes. We are still standing. We choose to rise. Hey, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. No more fear, no backing down. Hey, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Say their names, say their names. We remember, we remain. Hey, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey, hey,
Alrighty, thank you, Roxy, for that performance. So now we're going to move to start talking about the state level, because while power is being challenged at the federal level, we also know this, that what happens in Olympia matters. State government is where we fight back, where we protect our rights, and where we prove that power belongs to the people, not to kings, not to corporations, and not to millionaires. These are leaders who are doing that work, turning our values into action and making sure government is accountable to all of us. So with me, please now welcome Libby Watson to the stage. Libby is an organizer and campaign manager currently leading No Hate in Washington State.
All right. Hello. My name is Libby Watson. I'm the campaign manager with No Hate in Washington State. We're leading the fight against two initiatives that will be on our general election ballots this fall that target some of our most vulnerable. I'm really honored to be here. Thank you all for being here, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak. For years, we have watched the Trump administration master the art of the fire hose of falsehood. From baseless claims about our elections to the distortion of medical and scientific facts, the goal isn't just to tell a lie, it's to make the truth feel unattainable. The misinformation doesn't happen in a vacuum. It is being fueled and funded by a new class of American oligarchs. We are seeing a dangerous consolidation of power where the ultra-wealthy men like Trump and Brian Haywood are paying to control the narrative to serve their own interests. Like the other oligarchs who are consolidating and controlling what the media reports, Haywood in Washington is bankrolling his own propaganda wing. He has spent close to $10 million of his own money to drive his agenda through Let's Go Washington. The initiatives currently being pushed are 26001 and 26638. These are not grassroots movements. They are projects bankrolled by a mega millionaire who is buying his way into power. While Washington families are struggling to pay for food, housing, and healthcare, he is spending millions on these two poorly written initiatives that threaten the safety of all kids. Instead of using his money to solve the real issues we're facing, like school staffing shortages and schools being underfunded, he's using a culture war wedge issue and scapegoating kids, the LGBTQ+ community, and trans youth in particular, because a divided public is easier to control. 26001 removes protections for abused children, forces school faculty to out LGBTQ+ students, leads to the disclosure of counseling and other medical records that are currently protected by state law, and empowers extremists to disrupt classrooms and force changes to curriculum, harming our ability to teach things like accurate history, and putting school districts at risk of lawsuits that waste tax dollars. 26638 will roll back Washington's successful sports policy of 2 decades and issue a statewide blanket ban against trans girls in sports. This initiative would force all girls starting at age 11 who want to play on a team to have their sex assigned at birth verified by a healthcare provider, with an exam of reproductive anatomy as it is written verbatim in the initiative, or costly genetic or hormone testing. Boys are exempt. This will disproportionately impact low-income, rural, Black, brown, and immigrant girls who historically do not have access to long-term family doctors or pediatricians to certify their sex. Physical exams of girls' reproductive anatomy may require pelvic exams, which are not only medically unnecessary for sports, they can emotionally and physically harm young girls. The No Hate in Washington State campaign is our line in the sand. It is our way of saying that our children's well-being is not for sale. Our communities are not experiments for millionaire-funded culture wars. I need you to commit to talking about this with your neighbors, friends, and coworkers. You can text PROTEST to 206-800-8075 or visit nohateinwastate.org to get updates. And we have a table over there you can visit and learn more and connect. Most importantly, vote no on initiatives 26001 and 26638 this fall. Let's say no to Kings and no to hate in Washington State. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you, Libby. Next, we're going to hear from Jami Cortez, who is the chair of Climate Alliance South Sound, where she's working on combating climate change on the federal, state, and local level.
My name is Jami. I'm of the Yucatec Maya people, and I'm the chair of Climate Alliance of the South Sound. So grateful to be here with you all today to stand up to Trump and his cronies. Are you with me? CAS is a grassroots environmental organization here in Tacoma. We say that people are not separate from the environment. We are the environment. And we are being attacked on all fronts. Trump is one of many agents of the capitalist class profiting from oppression. Shame! His drill baby drill agenda targets oil-rich countries like Venezuela and Iran while rolling back environmental protections and violating indigenous sovereignty right here. Shame! In Washington, the Department of Ecology faces lawsuits over greenhouse gas transparency. And in Tacoma, communities continue to fight pollution from the Puget Sound Energy liquefied natural gas facility and the Northwest Detention Center, both long criticized over health, safety, and human rights concerns. That's the bad news. The good news is that Tacoma is building our collective strength. Marching in the thousands for May Day, 1 year of resisting Trump, and most recently Women's Day. Who was there? Yeah! We can use this collective strength to fight for a strong climate commission that can defend against all attacks on the environment, respect the treaties and indigenous sovereignty, ensure green jobs, and that protects the trees of Tacoma. We need a climate commission that is ran by and for the community. Is that right? Not by those who sell us out to capitalists that only care about profits in their next fiscal quarter. So to support this fight, please sign our Action Network petition. Go ahead and take out your phone right now and go to tinyurl.com/CC Tacoma. Again, that's tinyurl.com/CC Tacoma. Lastly, I want to invite you all to 2 upcoming events. One with Ramona Bennett. We are screening Fish Wars tomorrow, Sunday, March 29th at 5:30 p.m. at 350 Tacoma. I'd also like to invite you all to Earth Day, Saturday, April 18th, 1 p.m. at Point Defiance Park. We have flyers for all of the things that I've mentioned over at our table over here, Climate Alliance of the South Sound. When I say fight for, you say Mother Earth. Fight for! Fight for! Thank you.
Thank you, Jami. Next, we have a double feature for you guys. We're gonna have Senator Trudeau and Representative Charlotte Mena come to the stage and talk to you. Senator Trudeau is our Washington State Senator representing the 27th Legislative District, who's a lawyer by training and a policy-focused leader on housing, economic equity, and criminal justice issues. We also have Charlotte Mena, who is a member of the Washington State House of Representatives for the 29th Legislative District, and the proud daughter of Mexican immigrants, who's a leader advancing environmental justice, climate action, and policies that empower working families. She is also running to become the 29th Legislative District's next state senator. So please welcome them.
Good afternoon. I want to start off with a very simple message and tell you that I love us. Come on. Look around. Look at us. We're here today together as a reminder that we stand up against injustice together despite our past, our experiences, or our current circumstances. I love us. We know that we deserve better than the shit sandwiches that we are being forced to eat every single day by this administration, by this president, by his cronies, and the Democratic leaders that continue to accept the status quo that got us here. We are watching, and we have watched a flawed immigration system led by Democrats and Republicans that is now kidnapping and abusing our neighbors, our friends, and our family members. We have to remember how much we love each other. I love us. We know, we watch every day as the law is broken by the very same people that are benefiting by the demise of our democracy. We cannot allow that to happen. We cannot accept what we see around us as our reality. We simply cannot. We cannot watch a steep decline where things, look, they're gonna inevitably get worse before they get better. But we can't be quiet while that happens. We can't. Instead, we have to demand our rights, and we have to make sure that when people treat us like subjects, that they remember that it is our democracy, and we do not anoint kings, princes, or anyone to speak for us. We elect them, and we can unelect them any time we fucking want to. Because despite our flaws in this country, we exist on a promise. And that promise is that if we keep our head up and we work hard, that we are allowed to pursue life, liberty, and happiness. And damn it, that promise never relied on paperwork to prove our worth. Never. We made made sure that we stood together the last time this shit happened. But what we didn't do is plan ahead. We can do better this time. We can elect leaders like Representative Charlotte Mena to join me in the Senate so we can continue to speak up for the same Democrats that maintain the status quo in our state. We should not have elected leaders in office that voted for the Iraq War, y'all. That's the reality we exist in this state. We can do better. We can look around and not be force-fed by the Democrat-Republican bullshit. We can elect values. And we say no to fascists, no matter what they say they represent. We say no to fascists, and we say yes to us. And we elect the people that value our bodies, our experiences, and every single thing we bring to the table, regardless of how much money we make or what we need to support ourselves. We love each other. I only am here today to tell you that I love you and I thank you for loving me back, because we are in a long fight, you guys, a long fight. And I can only do it if you stick with me. And I mean that with deep sincerity. So God damn it, let's love us.
Well, hello, Tacoma. Do we live in a monarchy in this country? Do we live in a democracy? Are we going to take our democracy back? Hell yeah, we are. It is a hard time to be a Mexican American in this country. It is a hard time to be the daughter of immigrants. I know that firsthand. I also know that it is a hard time to be a Black American, to be a Native American, to be a person of color, to be a woman, to be a working person. And when we start to recognize that, and we start to realize that all of the resources are concentrated in the top 1%, we start to make change. And as soon as that happens, the old playbook, more ancient than this country, comes out to divide us among race, to tell us that we're different from each other and to turn us on each other. And I say, no more. What do you say? No more. What do you say? No more. We are on the brink of a democratic demise. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. We have two opportunities to take back our democracy. This election cycle in 2026 and the presidential election cycle of 2028. We have to commit to loving each other. We have to commit to sticking together and staying together. And we have to vote. We have to vote, vote, vote. And it is not going to be easy, despite what we have committed ourselves to, despite the bills that we have passed through the legislature to make our voting rights secure, to make sure that voting is as simple as possible. Donald Trump is issuing executive orders to bring back things like voter ID. He's making it more difficult to count our ballots if they're not in by a certain date. Absolutely. They are systematically dismantling the Voting Rights Act, the crown jewel of the civil rights movement, because they know that when we vote, we win. And that's what they're trying to do, to undo this democracy, to make us lose. So the third thing I want to ask us to do, and I think the most important thing, is we have to stay the course. We have to keep up pressure on all of the elected officials. It is not enough to elect the leaders of our choice in 2026 if those leaders don't show up to Congress and make the institutional change that is required to make our democracy work. We do not have a Supreme Court that is a check and balance. We do not have a court that works for the people. We do not have systems in the Senate and House that work for the people. We are going to have to be tireless because failure is not an option. I promise that I will continue to be tireless. I promise to continue supporting leaders that will continue to be tireless. I will have your backs. Are you going to have our backs? Yeah. Are we going to take back our democracy? Yeah. Then I know that we can and we will. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Trudeau and Representative Mena. Next, we're going to hear from Lynne Dodson, who is a proud AFT and UFCW retiree, former officer of the Washington State Labor Council, current Secretary of Puget Sound Advocates for Retirement Action and Chair of its Pierce County Committee. Welcome, Lynne, to the stage.
Good afternoon, sisters and brothers, siblings, friends. I'm Lynne Dodson with the Puget Sound Advocates for Retirement Action. We're a multi-generational organization working for social justice. Stop by our table down there at the end. There are some advantages to being in the fight for as long as some of us have. One, we aren't burned out. We're still fighting. We're often invisible, especially women, so we can get into a lot of places to make good trouble. We don't really have any more to give, and once we're retired, we can't be fired. We also fight for the future for our kids and grandkids and great-grandkids. And this is a pivotal moment. We can show that the power of people is immense, and we will not settle for less than a complete transformation of our system. Because the current administration is not a fluke. It is a predictable outcome of a system that puts profit before people and the environment, that prioritizes militarism and surveillance rather than human rights and dignity, that wages a war on workers rather than a war on poverty and despair, that views international relationships as a means to wealth and power rather than cooperation on the issues that face us and our planet. This is the capitalist system that we have built, we've been part of, many of us have profited from, and all of us have been diminished by. Friends, this fight can't just be about removing Trump from office. That is essential, but it isn't enough. We must center this fight on the world we want, that we need to build. We have to focus on building a movement for justice and peace. It starts at home and builds through our cities and towns, our countries, and across borders. Join the organizations here today that are working to lead and are on the ground every day fighting for justice. Your people are here. They need you in the struggle. Stand up for immediate and long-term change. No more money for wars and genocide. No more money for the militarization at home. No more funding for surveillance that will be used against our neighbors. Smash your ring camera. Get involved with your labor union or work to build one. I'm angry. It's hard not to focus on the anger and despair that we feel every day when we witness the next atrocity. Yet, we must focus not on what we're fighting against, but on what we're fighting for. We need to think big and act on it. End poverty and oppression, racism, transphobia, misogyny, and all the injustices that are a consequence of an unjust system, of rules and an old world order that is working exactly as it was built to work and is killing us. So we rise to create a better world. We rise. What do we want? Justice, universal health care, free. Free education from early childhood through college. Living wages for all workers with paid parental leave, sick leave, vacation leave. A social safety net that provides the disabled, unemployed, seniors, families with adequate income. Housing for everyone. A new world order where people can move internationally as easily as capital moves internationally today. Strong democracies where votes count more than money and elections are free and fair. Our movement for peace and justice will be strong and profound when we remember to focus on love, compassion, and action. As the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Be the light. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Next, we're going to have Joshua Haveland, an emerging environmental scientist at the University of Washington, Tacoma, who's committed to advancing thoughtful, community-centered approaches to environmental challenges.
How are we doing, Tacoma? I can't hear you. How are we doing, Tacoma? Whoa! All right, let's take a breath together. Feel the space. Breathe in. Breathe out. Good. I am Joshua Haveland. I am an emerging environmental scientist here at the University of Washington, Tacoma, and I'd like to share a few reflections with you. I've heard my fellow students, and we agree. This winter has been the hardest quarter of our lives. We are sick and tired of the system that keeps us subservient and poor. Myself, I have 3 part-time jobs. Our dreams are being ripped apart in front of us. We carry the burden of healing our world, and we work ourselves to meltdown. Out of fear of being judged of our mental and physical hardships, we cry silently and stay alone. If you feel this too, you are not alone. Say it with me. You are not alone.
You are not alone.
You are not alone.
You are not alone.
Please take a moment to introduce yourself to the person standing next to you. Go on. Tell this person, you are not alone. Now you have made a new friend. Say it with me. You are not alone. You are not alone. Together we will shine through this depression, take back our dreams, and put Trump away where he belongs. Lastly, now more than ever, the environment, the salmon, the trees, they need scientists. We need activists. With your new friend, I implore you, choose once a month to come outside and be with nature. Be together. With unity, we build democracy. The environment can sustain us, and the environment must sustain us for generations to come. Thank you, Tacoma. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not alone.
Thank you, Joshua. Next up, we have a cultural offering given by social justice advocate Julia Bobadilla, who's affiliated with the Mapuche Nation. Please welcome Julia.
Mari Mari Kampuche. Hello to all my relations. We take pride in our community, but we have a predator problem. I am an intimate partner violence survivor. Pierce County has the predator problem is a moral failing that we must fix. Pierce County has consistently high rates of domestic violence and criminal assaults, but for too long, our systems have been designed to ask the wrong questions. Instead of asking, why did you wait to report? We need to ask, why did this person feel safe enough to hurt you?
When we blame victims, when we let technicalities allow offenders back into our neighborhoods, when we tell survivors to let it go for the sake of appearances, we are actively protecting the predators. We are creating a culture where it is easier to be a perpetrator than a survivor. Let's make Pierce County known for being the place where predators cannot hide and where survivors find the strength to heal. Hold Epstein's predators accountable. Stop protecting the predators. Start supporting survivors. I'm going to sing the Woman's Warrior song written by Elder Martina Pierre of the Lil'wat Nation in British Columbia, Canada. She gifted the song to the community, sung in their language called Ukamuch. It has grown into a powerful anthem of resilience for the missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people movement, MMIWG2S. It is a prayer and a call for strength, energy from ancestors, and a way to overcome the impacts of colonialism and violence. The song is seen as a way to bring back the imbalance of power across the gender spectrum, and both men and women, Native and non-Native, work together in the movement for community building. I ask that everyone to join to honor the legacy of our women as we sing the Woman's Warrior song.
So now we're moving into our local segment because this is where power is closest to the people, right here in Tacoma. This is where organizing turns into action, where neighbors become leaders, and where we show every day that our communities don't need kings. We need each other. These are the people doing that work on the ground, fighting for housing, for workers, for young voices, for justice, and for a city that belongs to all of us. So with that, I'm going to welcome to the stage Kishana Curtis, who is a Tacoma community leader and organizer with Tacoma for All, focused on building tenant power, advancing housing justice, and creating more equitable communities across the city.
All right, hello everyone. What's up, Tacoma? Sorry, I'm a little short. They have to help me out. All right, well, again, my name is Kishana Curtis, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to speak to you all today about how we can bring back justice to we the people. Yeah, we are living in terrifying times. We all know this. We wouldn't be here if we didn't know this. Families are being snatched from their homes and their communities. Most people can afford to rent a 2-bedroom apartment on a single income. Most of us are only a paycheck or two away from being out on the street. And then add any marginalized identity on top of all of that, and the vulnerability intensifies. I look at the situation we are in not only locally, but nationally and globally, and it can be easy to despair. But then I have moments like today, when I'm surrounded by people that are desperate to put their hearts and their hands to work, and I'm renewed with energy and strength. I look to examples of people in Minneapolis who have so courageously been standing their ground against the militarization of ICE and Trump's escalating intimidation tactics. Yeah. And the only way they have been able to successfully fight back is because they realized and began to embody this fundamental truth, and that is this: no one is coming to save us. We are all we got. And in fact, we are all we need. Here in Tacoma, we want to be embodying that truth. And right now, we have been doing that through an initiative campaign. As some of you might know, Tacoma for All ran the Tenant Bill of Rights in 2023, securing some of the strongest tenant protections in the state of Washington. And this year, we are running another initiative called the Safe Homes for All Initiative. The 3 pillars of this initiative will enshrine tenants' rights to organize tenant unions without landlord retaliation, increase landlord-tenant education and transparency through a public database that tracks rights violations, and increases accountability and deterrence through new enforcement mechanisms that will put money directly into the hands of tenants whose rights have been violated. Not only will this initiative, when passed in November, put tenants and working people in positions to directly influence policy that impacts their lives, but also each signature will be an opportunity to get to know your neighbors and to lay the foundation for the relationship and coalition building that we will need to fight back in this era of increasing fascism. I invite you all to join us in this effort. Before you leave here today, please make sure to find one of us at one of our tables or floating around with clipboards. We have petitions for you to sign so we can get to our 9,000 signature goal. I invite you to add your signature and then also come and join us to gather more signatures so that we can make it on the ballot. We have an official campaign rally happening April 4th at 4 p.m. at Common Good Tacoma. So come and join us. We invite you. Thank you so much for being here. Another world is possible, and in fact, it is already on its way. Thank you.
Alrighty, next we have Negev Bellmaker, who is a 14-year-old 8th grader. I'll say that again, 14 years old. And they've been giving speeches for over a year now, speaking at both small events and big rallies, and they're excited to speak with you today. Everyone give it up for Negev.
Hello, Tacoma. How are we feeling today? My name is Negev Bellmaker, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about revolutions. Now, a revolution can look like many different things. A revolution can be a revolution of force, a revolution of blood and anger and longing for a better life, like the French Revolution of 1799. A revolution can be a social revolution, a revolution of peace and will and determination in the face of oftentimes violent opposition, like the civil rights movement. But you can also have a revolution of ideas, a revolution of the mind. It's a change in the way people think about themselves, about others, and about the society that they live in. It's a slow but steady switch in the consciousness of a population, a change of heart that cannot be televised. I've been protesting with 5051 for a while, about a year and a half. I know that sometimes our progress seems impossibly slow, that sometimes it seems like we aren't doing anything. But maybe the issue isn't us, maybe the issue is our perspective. We are looking at our movement in the wrong way, judging it by the wrong standards. If you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, then the fish will go its whole life thinking it's stupid. We're too preoccupied with the fish's ability to climb a tree that we can't see how great it is at swimming. We're too preoccupied thinking that this is a revolution of blood or a social revolution, that we can't see how great of a revolution of ideas it is. So I ask you all to take a moment to shift your perspectives and look at our ability to swim. Because I'm looking around at myself right now, looking at thousands and thousands of people who have had a small but meaningful change in their way of thinking and have decided to join us today. Isn't that what success looks like? We are making an impact. We are changing this country. We are moving towards a better future, one person at a time. I see systems collapsing around me in the minds of people. I see parables changing and viewpoints shifting. So I say down with apathy, down with turning a blind eye towards the problems of your neighbor, down with the old ways of thinking. And long live the revolution, because this is a revolution. What we're doing here today is a revolution. So let us continue in our march of the mind. Let our ideas spread and let us change the thinking of the people. Let us not stop until we have succeeded. Thank you very much.
Let's remember those community guidelines. Let's stay calm. Let's stay peaceful. Let's engage in strong nonviolence, okay? So we're going to hear next from Mike Yestramski, who is the president of the Washington Federation of State Employees Council 28, representing over 55,000 public employees across Washington. And he serves as the Northwest District Vice President for AFSCME International, representing workers across 6 states, and is affiliated with the Tacoma Education Association. Please welcome Mike.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Tacoma. Thank you all again for being here. I look out and I see this amazing crowd, and I think to myself, I can't believe that this many people showed up. And the thing is, we're here not because, we were bored, we didn't have anything better to do, but we're here because every single one of us knows, we feel it, we feel the ground shifting beneath our feet. Something that tells us that the country that all of us have been promised, the one that has been built on dignity, fairness, and a fighting chance, is being reshaped into something else. And I'm going to call it out. What it is it's being reshaped into a modern feudal system. And I want you to think about that. It might sound extreme, but think about this. In a feudal system, power is concentrated in the hands of the aristocracy. Wealth only flows upward. Everyone else is forced to work harder and harder just to hold on to what little scraps they have, while the few at the top consolidate total control over land, resources, and opportunity. Does that sound familiar? Today, working people are doing everything right. They're clocking in, showing up, raising families, and still falling behind. We just saw the largest act of union busting in American history when an executive order / royal decree took away collective bargaining rights from over 1 million public workers overnight. Meanwhile, at the same time, massive corporations and billionaires are not just thriving, they're literally rewriting the rules in their favor. They're buying influence, shaping laws, and turning our democracy into something that you can buy, probably with crypto. In feudal times, you didn't negotiate with the lords, right? You served them. And right now, too many working people feel like they are not being heard, not being respected, and sure as hell are not being represented. We are once again being told to be grateful for scraps. We are told to accept instability as the new normal. We're told that, if you just work a little harder, work a little longer, scrimp a little bit, skip on your avocado toast, maybe, just maybe, you might gain favor with the lords and get a little bit ahead. But we all know that's bullshit. We know that dignity at work is not a privilege, it is a right. We know that democracy is not a suggestion, it is a promise. And we know that this country was never meant to have kings. And that is why we are here. Because the reality is, history shows us something powerful. These systems, these feudal systems, they don't last when people like all of you here, like we are doing today, stand together. They don't survive when workers organize, when communities speak out, and when regular folks demand accountability. Pitchforks and torches, people. We are not serfs and we are not peasants. We are not subjects. We are the people. And the people have the power, the real power, when we decide to use it. So today, this is not just about protest. This is about reclaiming something. It is about drawing a line in the sand and saying enough is enough, and this is where it stops. No more systems that reward greed over work. No more policies that silence the many for the feelings of the few. No more drifting towards a future where opportunity can only be inherited instead of earned. So once again, we are here to say, no kings. Not in our workplace, damn sure not in our government, and not in our future. Because every single person here believes in something better. A country where hard work is respected, where the rules are fair, and where power answers to us, the people, not the other way around. And let me tell you, change will not start at the top or way over there in the other Washington. It is again going to start right here with all of us. Standing together, speaking clearly, refusing to back down. That is how you break a system. That is how you defend democracy. And that is exactly what we are going to do, because when we fight, we win. When we fight, when we fight, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Next, I'm going to welcome to a stage a dear friend, Latasha Palmer, who is a Tacoma City Council member representing Position 6 citywide. Latasha is a community advocate and a leader focused on housing stability, economic opportunity, and public safety for Tacoma families. Please welcome to the stage, Council Member Palmer.
This is such an amazing crowd. I'm so happy you all are here. Thank you for coming and showing that there's power in numbers, power to the people. Can I have your permission to get real for a few minutes? Okay. So I've been in my role as City Council member for about 3 months now, and I've learned a few things. And we don't hoard knowledge and resources here, right? Because that's what kings do. And we don't need no kings. So what I'm about to tell you will require action beyond today and maybe a shift in actions you're already taking. Are you sure you want to hear it? Yeah! Okay. So as the cool kids say, let me put you on game. One of my favorite quotes comes from a speech activist, Mario Savio, if you're familiar. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, that there comes a time when the machine becomes so unjust, you've got to put your bodies on the gears and on the levers and make it stop. And yes, sometimes we gotta do exactly that, but if we're also serious about no kings, it's not enough to stop the machine. We have to remake the machine. Because we know there is a machine, right? And here's what I've learned sitting in that seat. The people at the top are not more powerful than us. They're just more experienced with the machine. They know the timing, they know the relationships, they know the language. And those 3 things, that's how decisions get made. Not at the vote and not at a meeting. Before. That's what lobbyists understand. Yes, they have money, but money isn't real power, right? Money just buys access. The real power is this: being early, being connected, and being clear. And here's what we have to understand. We already have what they have. We have the numbers. We have the lived experience. We know what's working and what's not. What we haven't been taught is how to work inside the system. So here it is. Simple, 3 things. Learn these and everything changes. Ready? 1, learn the timing. In any machine, parts move in sequence. If you miss the first movement, nothing else matters. If you're showing up at the meeting, you're late. That's not disrespect, that's just reality. By the time it hits the agenda, it already's taken shape. Real power is at the beginning of the sequence. 2, learn the relationships. Machines don't run without power. And in politics, power moves through trust. I've seen it. The people shaping decisions aren't always the loudest. They're the ones who showed up early, stayed in the conversation, and built real relationships. That's what keeps things moving. 3, bring solutions, because no system changes without replacement parts. Not big words, just clear words. This is the problem, this is what we're seeing, this is the solution. When you can do that, you stop being managed and you become a partner. And when you put those together, timing, relationships, solutions, you go from reacting to a system to shaping it. So let me hear you say, learn the machine. Learn the machine. Thank you. Now rebuild the machine. Rebuild the machine. That's it. That's what you got to know. So if we're serious about no kings, here's the shift. Don't just fight the machine, learn it. Don't just demand change, help design it. Don't just show up at the end, get in at the beginning. So here's my invitation. If you want to learn this, if you want to organize, if you want to shape decisions and not just react to them, come find me. If you're in Tacoma, come find me. If you're not, let's find your local progressive representative and start there. Don't have one? Let's talk about how to get some elected. And it could be you, right? Let's build together, let's stay connected, let's get you in the room early. Because we don't need king-making machines, we don't need permission to remake systems, and we just need to get our hands on the right parts and build something together. Thank you.
Alrighty, our next speaker is Reverend Malando Redeemer, who's a faith leader and president of the Tacoma NAACP, dedicated to advancing voting rights, racial justice, and equity in the community.
Good afternoon, Tacoma. I give honor to all of those who have stood on this stage and to the organizers and to all of you for coming out to use your voice to say we don't want any kings. No kings! I stand before you as the president of the Tacoma NAACP. The NAACP is the oldest civil rights organization in the country. And for over 117 years, the NAACP has been fighting for the rights and the voices of people. And this time is like no other. We continue to fight because we're living in a time in which fear has become normalized. We're living in a time in which cruelty has been rebranded as policy. We're living in a time in which the man who occupies the White House has militarized his own militia through ICE, and people are being discriminated and deported because of the color of their skin, because of where they're from, and the way they talk. We have communities that are being under attack. We have families that are being separated. We have children afraid to go to school and parents afraid to go to work. We're living in a time where racism is very real and very alive, not just in word, but in deed, in policy, in systems, in legislation. We're living in a time in which gas is high as hell. I ought to have a witness there. Gas is high as hell because of an unjust war. We have a man who wants more power, who wants more control and less accountability. We have a man and his minions who are attacking voter rights. They want to have a say in who votes and who uses their voices, but we will not stand for that because that is not right. It is not democracy. No, it is fascism. It is fascism, and it is a man who is trying to make himself king. And we, the people, will not stand for a man trying to make himself king. I've come to find that what makes the people so great is that American people never back down. We never back down. We don't back down to hate. We don't back down to fascists. We don't back down to kings. And so I want you to chant something with me. When I say we won't back down, I want you to say, never have, never will. We won't back down. Never have, never will. Let's say it louder. We won't back down. Never have, never will. We won't back down. Never have, never will. That's right. It's our time to take a stand. It's our time to rise up. See, the thing is that they are out organizing us. There's more of us than there are of them. But we cannot allow them to out-organize us. It's good that we're here in the park. But we have to move beyond holding signs in the park to organizing and mobilizing and showing up at the ballot boxes, making sure that we mail in our ballots, even though Trump is trying to get in the way of that. Which is crazy, because did you hear how he just mailed in his own ballot, but yet we can't do it? This is not right. This is fascism. But I say to you, this is our time to stand up, to use our voices, to let him know that he is not the program, that we the people are the program. There is no program without us. We are the program, and we need to let every elected official, from city council to the mayor, to the county council, to the sheriff, to the state legislature, to Congress, and even to the White House, to let them know that we the people have the power, and we put them in their seats and we can take them out. Say it with me. I won't back down. Never have, never will. Let's get in some good trouble.
Alrighty, as we come in for a landing, we're going to hear from Indivisible Tacoma, who has helped mobilize community members in defense of democracy and collective action. So please welcome to the stage Barb Church and Vicky Stanich.
On behalf of Indivisible Tacoma, we thank you for coming. We heard you. We heard your anger and your anxiety and your fear about all that's going on in the world today, about our economy, about ICE, about racism. We've heard you. And today, we are going to work together to turn those fears into courage, to turn that anger and anxiety into action. In this moment, it is imperative that we find common ground to build coalition together, that we make we the people the heart of our democracy. Together, we protect our Mother Earth. Together, we bring justice to communities, especially Native, Black, Brown, and immigrant communities, for the protection of our lives and protection of every person's lives. Thank you.
Hello, Tacoma. I'm Vicky Stanich with Indivisible Tacoma's election team. Please, we're handing out these half sheets so that you can take action. There are a list of actions to get started. Write your Congress people. We have the links to those representatives. If you haven't registered to vote, stop by at Indivisible Tacoma's table for a registration form, or go to votewa.gov to register online. Here is where your vote counts. This year is one of the most important years to vote in American history. And we need to flip congressional seats. Our voting rights are in danger with the SAVE Act, especially for women. Our voting rights are in danger, and Tacoma, we need also, locally, we need 9,000 signatures for the Safe Homes for All initiative. Please sign the petition. It's so important to help keep people housed. You have to be a registered voter in Tacoma to sign the petition. So please register to vote. And a special election on April 28th to vote for the Parks Tacoma bond. And again, you have to be registered, a registered voter in Tacoma, to maintain the beautiful parks in Tacoma. Every vote counts. Elections can be decided by only a handful of votes, especially in local elections. More importantly, in local elections, voting empowers you to voice your opinions on issues that matter. Join us in making your voice heard. Vote in the upcoming election. The people who are here to save us is us. Thank you very much.
Alrighty, so we're gonna have one final performance before we let you guys go today. But before we close, I wanna thank everyone who made today possible. Our speakers, our performers, organizers, and every single one of you who showed up. This is what it looks like when people come together, not to be ruled, but to stand together, to speak out, and to build power in our communities. And let's carry this energy forward beyond today, beyond this space, because this movement doesn't end here. To close us out, please welcome our final performance of Get Together by the Youngbloods, led by Charles Carson.
Mic check. This is not a performance. This is an inclusion. You guys ready? Okay, how many people have heard of the Youngbloods? Okay, if you heard of the Youngbloods, you gotta say it like you heard of the Youngbloods. Yeah, okay. Now, how many people believe in this thing called peace? I'm a performer. I used to really get down. Matter of fact, I tore this park up in '95. Scared a lot of people, but whatever. But here's the point. There's people on the outskirts out there that if you were to participate right now, we could actually send some vibration through these 100-year-old trees. Let's go. How many people believe in a thing called peace? That's what I'm talking about.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jamaica Scott. I am a Tacoma City Council member representing District 3. I do want to lean heavily on the unrehearsed. Just so you know, I only sing at karaoke, so keep your expectations limited. We're going to be doing a bit of call and response before we get into what that is. I'm going to practice with you I'm going to have you guys call and response with me. One of my favorite quotes that always gets me centered, grounded, but also just motivated to keep doing the work. Are you guys ready? All right, I'm gonna say the first line, and then I think you guys know how call and response works. Okay, ready? This is by Assata Shakur. We have, it is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other. And support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. All right, look at you guys. One, great. Take that with you. Keep that energy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get you guys, because I know this is unrehearsed on our part, but it's also gonna be unrehearsed on your part because you're joining in. You're all being voluntold to sing along. So go ahead. We told you, Youngbloods, the song is Get Together. If you don't know the lyrics, that is fine. We're gonna help you through it. But you can also, if you wanna take a moment, you can pull out your phone and pull up the lyrics like I have had to do as well. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on the chorus together. We're gonna work through the verses, but when the chorus comes, if you don't know any other part of the song, we wanna make sure that you sing the chorus of the song loud, vibrate these trees, vibrate the streets, vibrate it all the way out for the federal government, our state representatives that are going out there as well, and make sure that not only are we heard, but we are felt. Are you guys ready? Yeah. All right. Come on, Lita.
So who knows the song? Here we go. We're gonna jump right to the chorus, okay? Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. One more time. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Marilyn, let's do the first verse. Here we go.
Okay. Try instead of brother, it's each other.
Well, why don't you try it?
Okay. We'll get it.
Okay, here we
We'll
go.
get it.
Did you guys hear that little sneaky?
Okay, instead of just brother, it's each other. It's all of us. Come on, people, now. Sing it. Smile on each other. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Again, let's try it. Come on, people, now. Smile on each other. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Okay, you're ready. We're going to start.
Love is but a song we sing Fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing and you may not know why. And come on, people now. Smile on each other. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now.
Y'all don't, okay. So, I'm just gonna give you a little spoken word on this one. Y'all don't actually want to hear me sing. Some may come and some may go. He will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. And everybody, come on, people now. Smile on each other. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now.
If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. Listen, you hold the key to life and love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks the door. It's there at your command. Come on, people now. Smile on each other. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Again. Come on, people now. Smile on each other. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Right now. Right now. Solidarity.
Give it up for the legendary Marilyn Kimberling, everybody.
Have a beautiful day. Blessings to everyone.
And I think we are going to have some live music coming up. So feel free to mingle and enjoy the lovely arts that we have to bring to you all in Tacoma. And thank you all for being here, and be very safe and take care of each other.